Hey guys, it's a Flower Woman here at Lotus Petal Studios. Happy September, guys! Wow, can you all believe it's already September? And of course, I'm here to upload yet another K-pop Nostalgia Summer Edition, except this is the closing to the Summer Edition, because we're coming to the end of summer now, and of course, we gotta have at least one last summer edition of K-pop Nostalgia. And so here it is. And who's gonna be the lucky group who's going to be talked about for today's show? Well, that's going to be Spica. Who remembers Spica, guys? Another criminally underrated K-pop girl group with powerhouse vocals. I mean, why is it always the best groups that always get ignored and forgotten about and break up too soon? It happened to the Grace, and it's happened to Spica. So you're all probably wondering, who exactly are Spica? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. So Spica was a 5-member group made up of Jiwon, Nare, Boa, Sihyun, and Bohyun. They are described as a group of cast-off should-have-beens and vocal coaches. And to say the least, they were quite a miracle on the K-pop scene, seeing how when they debuted under B2M Entertainment back in 2012, they were already in their mid-20s, which is pretty old by K-pop standards. When they first debuted, they were oftentimes promoted as little sisters of K-pop veteran Lee Hyori, the former member of FIN-KL from back in the day. And oftentimes, many have said that worked both in their favor and actually was part of their downfall as a group. As unfortunately, Spica were not a very long-lasting group, despite the fact that they were ultra talented with amazing powerhouse vocals. They released many songs during their time between 2012 and 2017. Many songs including You Don't Love Me, Painkiller, and Russian Roulette. While all of those songs deserve at least one chance under the spotlight, today I want to mostly talk about their song Tonight. Tonight is my personal favorite song by the girls, and I feel that it's a very suitable song to be saying goodbye to the summer to. It was released August 28, 2013, and it was penned by member Boa and Lee Hyori herself, which is already a pretty darn cool thing in K-pop, which is a relatively unusual thing to see in K-pop, seeing how controlled a lot of the songwriting is. However, we got to see a lot of the song's production through the reality television show Lee Hyori X Unni, where Lee Hyori herself mentors the girls and helps them produce the song and video. And I cannot tell you enough how amazing the result actually was. I admit when Spica first debuted, I did quite like some of their songs like Painkiller and Russian Roulette. However, I feel they really stuck out until Tonight was released. And it's because Tonight is just such a deep and meaningful song, especially as I said in the K-pop industry, which sings a lot about, love and fuzzy feelings. Tonight is a song that sings a lot just about enjoying the moment, friendship, and just so many other beautiful things. Just as I said, taking in the present, which is just amazing. And the vibe of the song and the tune and everything, along with the girls' amazing vocals and rapping, is just one great package where you can feel just the passion. It's just all throughout the song, and I cannot gush enough about it. I love the girls' vocals. I feel it just really showcased it perfectly. Every single time I listen to this song, I feel so refreshed, free, and filled with life, really. I just love songs that just do this because, especially now in this artistic dearth that we're living in, you don't get so many songs that just seem to breathe life into you. That's just full of so much passion and energy. And the music video is just so well produced too and matches the song perfectly. The reason I describe this as a great end of summer song is because when you look at the video, it feels like a sort of nostalgia trip where you're remembering the summer vacation that you had with all your best friends. The filters that they used in the video were very hazy, like as if you're looking through a memory or a dream. and you see all the girls together throughout the summer just enjoying it, and it's so natural. Another music video that had been released around the same time was 21's Do You Love Me, where they tried to do this whole found footage thing, make it seem all natural, and yet I felt it kind of fell short, that video, because it just felt a bit too staged and everything. Now, no offense to Blackjacks out there, because I'm sure a lot of you will greatly disagree, and that's okay because it's just my opinion. I do love 21 as well, and I love many of their other music videos. It's just I felt Do You Love Me fell a bit short, especially in what they intended to do with the music video. And I felt that Spica's Tonight did that sort of like natural friendship, summer vibe feel so much better. You see all the girls styled with very Coachella style outfits, which is just so cool with all the flower crowns and the flowy dresses and lots of cool haircuts and hair dye and everything. I love a lot of the sort of hippie shirts they were wearing, and just generally I love the styling that they did for this video. It was a massive improvement from the girls' earlier styles, which they use a lot of like chunky jewelry and again a lot of hair dye too, but it just wasn't very good coloring, and just everything came off just a little bit too blah at the start of their career. And this is around the time when they actually had much better styling, and it was very funky and hippie, and as I said, very Coachella. So Hyori did a great job there for them. And also, I just love the way they played around with like the smoke and all the colors in the video too, where you just see them playing around with these little like smoke thingies. I don't know what you call them, but it looked just really cool and visually pleasing, and they played around with so many transitions, which was great too. I loved the little touch where they had like Hyori herself appearing at the start, making her little cameo, and then it transitions into the member Sihyun. And generally, not everything is shown chronologically throughout the video. Everything's just like pasted together and scenes just go into one. It's like as if, as I said, somebody's like playing through a tape, like picking out different memories and everything. And you just see them on this sort of camping trip that they were on, which I also love the way they played around with the theme of female friendship, where everyone's just together with their best friends, enjoying life, going on adventures together. And I just love it. It's just generally the love between friends that I feel is just so missing nowadays in media, which is such a world of overt, I'd say, degeneracy, I guess, where everybody just ignores just stripping back all of that, stripping back all the superficiality and just emphasizing the friendship and love that can be shared between friends, and especially between like female friends too. They also played around with a lot of colors too, especially when they were throwing that colored powder on each other, and they were throwing it on each other, and again they played around with the editing and reversing shots, and it was so cool once again. I love the way they just experimented with the editing. It was so creative and so, as I said, aesthetically pleasing. Just other simple parts with the editing, like the same when they're having the pillow fight, that looked really cute. I mean, seriously, I've never seen anybody make a pillow fight look so cool and funky besides in this video. Also, other little bits I gotta point out was, let's say, when the member Nade comes out of the hot tub and like teases the camera a little bit, to put it politely. And some people I remember at the time kind of criticized that scene as being unnecessary and too overtly inappropriate. I know I can't use certain words anymore on YouTube, which is really annoying, but so I have to kind of imply it all. Welcome to the age of censorship. But yeah, and some just criticize it as being unnecessary. But I mean, it may have been a little bit unnecessary, but at the same time, it was just so brief that you kind of almost immediately forget about it, since it all just moves on to the pillow fight quite quickly. But really, just in general, I love the feeling of nostalgia that you get with the video, where it just feels as if somebody's just thinking back and reminiscing of the late August night that they spent with their friends, hanging out by the jacuzzi, having pillow fights with, and hanging out at the beach, and generally having a great time with their friends. And one of my favorite bits of the video is when it gets to Hyori's second appearance, and she's running down the road in a really pretty dress in the car's headlights. And some people I remember at the time somewhat criticized Hyori's cameo appearances, thinking that it was kind of just using her a bit too much for attention, but I don't think her bits really detracted from the girls at all. I thought it was a nice touch, and anyway, as one reviewer pointed out, if that's the worst thing that you can find in a video, then you're kind of doing a pretty good job there. And so the whole video ends with the girls running up a hill, and again they just look so free and happy, and it all ends with them snuggling up together with their heads on their shoulders, and it ends that way. And I don't know, it's just so touching and beautiful. I just can't get over it. And the dance, I always have to bring up the dance. It wasn't a particularly intricate dance. It wasn't shown in the videos, only for the live performances, but I love the fact they had backup dancers that had like little butterflies and that they did like simple hand movements and everything. I always just felt with Spica, their dance skills weren't really their strong point. I felt it was more in their vocals, definitely, and their songwriting too. The song at that point for Spica was probably their most successful, as the song peaked at number 10 on the Gaon music chart and was 8 on the weekly online downloads ranking with 102,297 paid downloads from August 28th to the 31st. And even though they had loads of comeback stages which made Lee Hyori really proud, they unfortunately failed to win on any of the major music programs. So it had limited success, and as I said, was probably their most successful song at the time. It didn't exactly generate as much success as they probably would have hoped. Spica would then move on to release other songs such as You Don't Love Me, another great track, I Did It, which was a full English track, and unfortunately though they went on hiatus for nearly 3 years after that, only to release one last song, Secret Time, until being forced to disband in 2017. Personally, if I'm to touch on it briefly, because I'd like to one day make a full video about Spica, just generally doing a commentary and analysis of their career, I'll just touch briefly right now that I think unfortunately the girls' company generally just mishandled them, and admittedly I think some of the criticism about them relying too much on Lee Hyori probably does hold weight because of the fact that they were just so reliant on her. They didn't have enough time to become famous on their own accord, as well as the fact that they did a lot of the time flip-flop in their image, which for me, I kind of think it's cool when bands experiment with different images, concepts, and sounds, but in K-pop, for others, it just doesn't work well for them because they think that the band has a bit of an identity crisis, as well as the fact that definitely that hiatus didn't work. And I think it was a bit of a mistake for them to try and break into the US market because nobody at the time was successful with it until BTS. So yeah, I've always been kind of sad that Spica didn't last as long as they did, and they were essentially forced to break up by their company, which the girls didn't want, and they've always insisted on wanting to reunite as a group and release more music, which is what I hope they'll do in the future for their sake. Right now, though, members Boa and Bohyun are currently a duo called Kimbo, which is a really cute group, and I really like their songs because, again, it just shows off their powerhouse vocals. Also, other members, though, have been struggling to have a career again. I mean, there are certain members like Jiwon who seem to be the unluckiest idol in the world because she was like once part of one girl group, and then she was about to be a member of Tiara, but then that didn't work out, and then of course she was in Spica and they broke up. So unfortunately, ones like her, she's had a bit of a tough run of things. So I seriously hope that the girls can find a chance to reunite together and release another album or so, because really they work very well as a group, and I just love girl groups with strong vocals, like the Grace and Mamamoo. Because if I'm going to be honest, with groups like Spica, all of their members, including their main dancer and their main rapper, sing better than even many other K-pop girl groups' main vocalists. And I'm not trying to like throw too much hate on anyone, but that's just the truth. I mean, I'm all about high standards in everything whenever it comes to music and just any form of entertainment in general. So yeah, as I said, Please check out Tonight. You are not going to regret it. It is such a fun video. I cannot emphasize it enough. You certainly won't regret it. It's a great song to close off the summer with, and a great song to close off the K-pop Nostalgia Summer Edition series. So I hope you all enjoyed this. This is the Flower Woman at Lotus Petal Studios. Support Spica and hope and pray that they'll have a comeback soon again. So, as I said, this is the Flower Woman at Lotus Petal Studios. Thanks a ton for watching this video, and I'll see you all later.